Yeah, Mitch here again, and thanks for stopping by. All right, our next stop is Hong Kong, right where the yellow X is. And then we're on the lovely ship, the Millennium, by Celebrity Cruises. And here's a shot of our lovely pool. And then the next shot after the pool coming up will be Hong Kong, China. And this was a really, really fun trip. Where we decided to go is the Giant Buddha, also known as the Big Buddha, and I'm going to show you some different stops that we went there once we got off the ship in Hong Kong. And once we got the ship, we got a taxi, and we had to take a couple different taxis to get to the Giant Buddha. There was two different ones we had to do. There was like a red line and a blue line taxis. And here's some other different shots I took in Hong Kong. The malls in Hong Kong look very similar to the ones we have here in California. Then after we finished walking, looking around the mall, we got a taxi and we headed off to the trams that take you to the Giant, or what they call the Big Buddha. You'll see a photograph of them up to the upper right. Unfortunately, they were being maintained or they weren't working because we couldn't get on or use them. So we had to take another taxi there to get to the Giant Buddha. And in this next frame, you'll see us at hyper warp speed on our way there. We've arrived at the Big Buddha, or as I call it, the Giant Buddha, and you'll see this little figure at the front when you get dropped off. Then you'll walk through a path with some stores, some little gift stores, and some statues before you get to the Big Buddha. And photo comment, this is the giant bronze sitting Buddha. I think it's the biggest sitting giant bronze Buddha in Asia. And it's huge. And there's a lot of steps on the way up there, let me tell you. Alright, as we headed down the steps from the Giant Buddha, we headed back into the main city of Hong Kong and started through this tunnel that you'll see in the next frame coming up here, and then to the main city to go to the shops. Hong Kong had all kinds of shops. You have high-end ones, you have more like the swap meet, lower-end ones. There's almost everything you can think of material-wise to buy in these shops. It was very, very interesting, and they're all over the place. on the next few photos, you'll see I stopped and got some food, and the food was amazing from one of the street vendors. It was like fried seafood. It was great. And then after I went and got the seafood, I went in through the subway, and that was quite an experience. Thank God I have my wife that would get me through it. Here we are at Hyper Warp Speed. Down in the subway, you'll see Circle K, 7-Eleven, and many of the other type of stores we have here in California and the United States. And then you'll see these billboards of movies and different advertisements of models on the boards as you're walking through the halls of the subway system. As we left the subway, we caught a taxi in the streets, and it took us a couple miles over back to the ship, and then we left the Hong Kong harbor, as you'll see in this next frame, at Hyper Warp Speed, and then we are off on our way to Manila in the Philippines, as you'll see in the next video starting right after this. Next stop, Philippines, courtesy of Celebrity Cruises. Alright, we got to Manila, Philippines. And as we got off the ship, here's a photograph I took what it looked like. We had some natives in native uniform dress dancing, and it was really nice. I gotta warn you about the traffic. To go 1 mile, it takes about 45 minutes. It's even slower than Los Angeles in many parts of Manila. So plan carefully when you go there. The traffic does not move fast in many parts of Manila. Lots of traffic. All right, here's some other photographs I got on my way to where we're going to the Mega Mall. Here's some various photos I took from our taxi as we were driving to what they call the Mega Mall. And it's more central in the city, not on the coast. The other one's called the Asian Mall. It's on the coast. And it's a little bit cooler and the traffic's a little lighter going to that one. But we did try both of the malls I got to see, and I'll tell you a little bit about both. Then you'll see in this next frame a rickshaw, and they have their share of scooters there too. Security guard motorcycle, and then you'll see all these armored vehicles. They're all over the place. When we went to the Mega Mall, there was guys standing out there with 12-gauge pistol grip shotguns guarding the money all coming out. Unless they were all there all at one time. So there was quite a bit of them, and I got a photo of some of the guys that posed me with the 12 gauges. Another thing unique to the Philippines are the Jeep buses. I've never seen these anywhere else, but they're really cool. They have these buses that everyone takes. That's how people do transportation there. And they're Jeeps, and they're extended Jeeps, and that's commonplace. That's how people get around in the Philippines and Manila with these Jeep buses, and they're very famous in this part of the world. This is a side view of the SM Mall of Asia. It's really big inside there. It has a lot of the stores we have here in the United States. As we started walking back from the Asia Mall, we went by the coast, and it's a really pretty coast and has a lot of interesting things to see on the way back. But we did the most fun thing we did in Manila. And I wish I would have spent more time doing this. I was able to talk my way and purchased myself time, and I got to drive a rickshaw. So I got Diane's sidecar, and I got to drive that around, and it was really fun. All I do is have this one picture of it. I left the video camera on the ship, so I didn't have that, but here's a photograph, and it was a blast. By far the most fun thing I did in Manila. All right, the next video we're gonna come up, and it's one of the favorite islands I've ever been on. We're gonna go to Boracay in the Philippines. So turn on, stay on my station, Toasty Ducks, and the next video coming up, it'll be Boracay, the Philippines. All right, subscribe and have a good one, and go cruising.